Oh, Yasalidu. Huh? So today was a very big yortzeit. The yortzeit of my Rebbe's Rebbe, the Heilige Stefan Eshter. Ben Rebbe Nachum Nuchem. It still is before we daven Ma'ariv. So the history is a zoy. After the Heilige Baal Shem Tov passed away. Okay. After the Heilige Baal Shem Tov passed away, his Talmud, the Dov Ber of Mezrich, the Mezrich Magid, he became the Rebbe. Most of the Talmid Baal Shem became his Talmidim, except for Pinchas Koretz, became his own thing in the Miraculous Locheve. The Heilige Mezrich Magid had a son. They called him Avrom the Malach. The reason they called him the Malach is because he was mamish disconnected from this world. He lived in the woods. He was a bisboided his whole life. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep. He was a mamish. They called him a Malach. The Magid had many famous Talmidim. The Levi Yitzchak Barditchev, the Baal HaTanya. So the Magid asked the Baal HaTanya, who was a Gewaldige Lamden, to learn B'chavrusa with his son, Avrum the Malach. Avrum the Malach was teaching him Chasidus and Kabbalah, and he was teaching him Nigla. They were learning for a long time. This Avrum HaMalach had a son, Reb Shulam Shachna. Shulam Shachna was the father of the Heilige Rizhiner. The Rizhiner had 5 children. Each one of them was a big Rebbe in his own right. One of them was the Menachem Nuchem, the Stefan Eshter Rebbe, the father of Rabbi Avram Matchisiui, who was the Rebbe's Rebbe. So Azoi. After the Rizhiner passed away, his son, Rabbi Menachem Nuchem, became Rebbe. He didn't last a long time, he passed away. And his son, Rabbi Avram Matchisiui, became Rebbe. The Heilige Ribnitz's great-grandfather, whose name was also Reb Chaim Zavel, he was a Stefan Eshter Chassid, from the first Stefan Eshter Rebbe. When he passed away, suddenly, when he was young, he started going to the Stefan Eshter's brother, the Sadi Gerer. But he couldn't find his place. He was very attached to his Rebbe, and he was very broken about it. He couldn't deal with it. So his father came to him in a dream, and he told him, I left a son, Avram Matchisiui. Go to him. You'll have exactly what you had by me. Go to him, not a problem. And Taka, he went there. And an incredible story that I heard today from my colleague, who was Makar of me to Ribnitz many years ago, Mendel Berkowitz, who lives in Montreal. He told me he heard this story from the Rebbe himself. So his grandfather, Reb Chaim Zavel, went for a Sheshuna to his Rebbe, to Stefan Eshter, the Alte Stefan Eshter, to Rabbi Matchisiui. And there was a plague, there was a corona in those days. People were dying like flies. And although Como was not in charge then, but whoever was in charge then was Mamish, was Yehereg Valyava. You couldn't gather, you couldn't get together. It was a terrible decree. It was Mamish, a very terrible law. He went anyway to his Rebbe, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, not to go to the Rebbe. In the middle of Yom Kippur, he passed. And it was a gewaldige pachad, if they catch them, the Shem Yirachem. They called the doctor, and the doctor said, what's going on here? It's illegal to gather. What's this gathering? You're not allowed to gather. He tried to heal him. The Stefan Eshter said, give him water to drink. It was Yom Kippur. They gave him water, konnte nicht geholfen. Stefan Eshter walked over to him and said, Chaim Zavel, stay off. And he woke up and he got up. But he couldn't leave town because the doctor reported to the authorities that there was an illegal gathering. So he had to keep him there for a couple of days, and he had to go in front of the judge. And when he went in front of the judge and said, this is me, I'm alive, I'm fine, nothing happened. And they dismissed the case was over. Heilige Stefan Eshte. So when the Rebbe was here, he davened here, the first year that he was here in Seagate, he davened in Kippur upstairs. In Ramai's Shul, he was the Baltfila. And when he used to daven Shemon Esrei, those who remember him, he used to stand mamish like this, bent over for like an hour and a half. There was a Yid who lived there, Blues Baitcher, who went over to the Rebbe after davening, and he said, the Rebbe isn't geflogen Himmel, but I was here. I saw what was going on. I saw that the youngsters, the Ingelait, the Bochrim, they tried to copy you. They could stand there 3 minutes, 5 minutes. How long can you stand like this? How could you stand so long? So he said, that's what I stood was long? My Rebbe used to stand like that a whole day. And then he stood up like nothing ever happened. So this week, we went a different route. I decided to go rather than big, long, chunky pieces. You have to concentrate for a long time. So a little bit shorter. And you also get a cocktail variety of different Chasidus food. Have some jume? Some mizan. Huh? Hey, take mine. So Agri the Kala is the Bnei Yisachar, and it says in the posting of Bnei Koirach Loi Meisu. A very interesting chap. It says Shemati meis kvoid Adoni Moire v'Rabbi Harav HaKudish Rachamendel Miriminov Zechasadi V'Kudish Levrucha. Them is a posting of Bnei Koirach Loi Meisu. What does it mean? Dagam ki Koirach, who was the Bala Machloikis, he died. Im Kol Zeh Bnei Koirach and Talmidov, the Bala Machloikis from all generations, they didn't die. Ki b'kol doi v'doi yesh nigud l'Bala Machloikis al tzadikim ha'holchim b'toim, v'nerali d'naf k'minir l'boy rachma. So he says very interesting shak. He says, B'nei Koirach le'meisu. The ones who followed his footsteps, who still have Machloikis ad hayom hazeh, they're still around. And so what's the difference? The difference is that we should daven for it. It's not shulam zwischen Yidden. Not like we see in many different places. Der Rebbe, Jan Rebbe, Man Rebbe, Dan Rebbe. People have to realize that every person has a different shayrish neshama. And some people feel a connection in certain places, some people feel a connection in other places. Wherever a person feels connection, that's where he belongs. That's his neshama. So nobody should try to missionarize. You have to be like this, you have to be like that. You have to be like close to the Eibishter. Kaim Torah mitzvahs, that's the ikar. Agad the Pirk is another sefer also from the Bnei Yisachar. Shem Harav HaKudish Ba'aram Mikalin, Zitzal. Shem HaMedrash. Kisho Oma HaKadosh Baruch Hu Le'Eliyahu Zocher LaToiv Sheyovay L'chol bris milah. Tachas HaShekinah Le'Likov Ve'chap HaBnei Yisrael. So Hashem gave him a mission. You have to go by every Yiddish bris, you got to be there. As we know, Eliyahu Novi, we have a Kiseh Shel Eliyahu, we prepare Eliyahu Novi. And he's taka there. How he does simultaneously so many different brisen, I don't know. But Lamaisa, that's why he's a malach and we're human. Oma HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oma HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when he got the job, he said, wait a minute. Ani kanui. I'm a kanui. I can't. What did I do? What happened by last week's parsha? He saw his news and he got up and killed him. Said, Vimi avi ben bal aveir chas v'sholem. If the father of the baby is a bal aveira, la yuchal lizbo lias noichach. I can't be there. I can't be present. Ifticha HaKadosh Baruch Hu shechaper lavi ben. I'll forgive him. Don't worry about it. Shuftonis, I said, wait a minute. Vim hamoil ye bal aveira. What about the moil himself is a bal aveira? Unlike HaKadosh Baruch Hu, gam lo yechaper. I'll forgive him also. Shuftonis said, wait. Im bahakol hanoichich im bal aveira. The people who are participating in the bris, there's all kinds of people. If a person is a bal aveira, Hashem said, everybody that goes to the bris, I'll forgive him. That's why it's a big inyan to go to bris milah, because you get a clean slate. You go to bris milah. There was a Yid whose son-in-law used to live here, Leizer Ruben Ulav Hashulam. His father-in-law used to run every day from bris to bris in Borough Park. He went to every single bris. He had the inyan to go. I guess he had whatever. Good reason. Ja, damit eine Kleinigkeit. V'kach perish es haposik. That's how he types it into the posik. Tachas asher kinei le'elikov, amnei shepinchas Elio, hoyekanoi, v'leyochel yizbel averis. He couldn't stand people who are sinners. L'chein v'achapa b'nei Yisrael, avticha HaKadosh Baruch Hu, she'echapa b'nei Yisrael, v'divrei pi chochem chen. Gewaldig. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakoil, niyo b'dvorei. So this week's parsha is very interesting. Every year, Parshas Pinchas is Ben HaMetzorim, in the 3 weeks of mourning. And in this week's parsha, you have all the Mayadim. I'm not here. Tell them I'm not here. So this week's parsha, you have all the Yomim Tovim. It says in this week's parsha, "As a keves echatas b'boiker," that's the korban atomid. "As a keves hasheni das ben arbaim, ki michas haboiker cheniskoi." The Rebbe, the Sar Sholem Belz, zegt tzadik de woche dik de kvele saloshen. Beomri as a keves hasheni das ben arbaim. Ves hasheni, what's a keves hasheni das ben arbaim? Ves hasheni. Uperish dina Torah hi nitzchis. The Torah is not only for when it was given then, but it's forever and ever. Umelamed lishbino teaches us a lesson. Shesnaig melamed is lishbino. Melamed lishbino. It's all the same. The Torah is in the Kaiva. Ich weiß. Shesnaig k'moish osa kohen. Dahainu. Shespalel Hashem. A person has to daven all his life. Shekol ma'isa mishacha nu'ura v'adachli shemov. From when he is born, from when he was young, until when he passes back to Olam Haba. Yiritzuim u'mivchorim l'rotzav nei Hashem. It should all be clean. It should come up to Shemayim with a clean slate. Argamim mitchila liyosa masim ritzuim. We know many people, when they're young, they do foolish things. When they get older, they change. Ulam b'sof yomov, when he gets a little older, he wants to do tshuva on his previous, when he was younger. So a person shouldn't think, I did such bad things when I was younger. So a person will give up. The Yetzer Hara always tells a person, you don't stand a chance. So the Yetzer Hara will tell you, don't bother. Like Adarabah, Zog the Sar Sholem, Yischazik benav shelosh val kaponim mahayim v'hala. At least from this moment on, like the famous moshel that the Chofetz Chaim gives, there was a young girl standing and selling apples at a fruit stand, and a Ganav came and started stealing apples, and she started crying. So the guy says to her, "Why are you crying?" While he's grabbing, "Oh, you also grab." Chavuz the kenst. He said to the moshel, but a person in the middle of davening, and suddenly he realizes, "Oh, I'm up to moedim, and where am I?" Like there were people that. When they landed after davening, the Rebbe said to them, "Shalom Aleichem, where are you coming from?" We know what that means, right? Yischazik benav shalosh v'alkaponim mahayim v'hola. It's a chaparayim from now on, at least from now on. L'skarev v'lidabek b'derech hatoiv. So you should be niskarev and should connect to the real thing, to the good thing. V'zeh kavonas hakosef, that's what the pasuk means. As a keves echadas b'boiker. So l'chatchila, when you're young, baboike, when you're young, do what you got to do. Do the right thing. If you messed up the first time around, so now you have another chance. Tas ben aboim. Yemei hana'aris nikroim boiker. Mechunim boiker. Me'azik the mechunim bein arbaim. When you get older, it's already evening, it's starting to get dark. Me'aipten to schmecken the eid, zukman. You start smelling the kever. What's the loima? Hanochem beyoiser. The most proper thing to do is last is hatoiv vayosher mitchila vadasoif. From beginning to end, you have to be good. Achim chaz v'shalom adata lo yoseken. Until now he messed up. V'olach b'derech hasheichim, and he walked in the dark ways. Asher ein noi galoi, there's no light there at all. Ava piken lo yofset tikvosoi. Don't give up hope. L'sakeves hasheni, you get a second chance. Tas ben arbaim, even if it's ben arbaim, it's already beginning to. The sun is starting to go down. You're starting to feel already. You're getting closer. As long as you're still alive. But she was a talit in Kisei HaKavod, and your tshuva will reach all the way up to Kisei HaKavod. V'al yidak b'atzmoi shelo yuchel lagia l'shleimus haritzuyo. And don't think that because you didn't do it when you're young, so now you're not going to reach where you're supposed to reach. Because when he was younger, he messed up. If he would have acted properly when he was young, that would have been gewaldig. Even now, it's already Ben Arbaim, it's already late. You can still bring a sacrifice to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter have nachas ruach from it. And this karav lavedos is borach, velas es nachas ruach lefanov, gewaldig. Es karboni lachme li ishai, reach nechoichu, tishmeru, l'hakrev libu mayadoi. Sagt das was emes. Bis man shem bes hamikdash, in today's day and age. So in the olden days, the Gemara says, a person did a chait, came to Beis Hamikdash, brought a korban, it's chapaloi. But today we don't have Beis Hamikdash. What do we do? Ein avoidis hakarbonis. So the avoidis of the svasemes liishtoikek uletzapos lekach. So a person should be longing and hoping to get back to those days. V'oz yechashuv ki'ilu hikrivu kol hakarbonis b'mekoimam v'mayadom ichil chosai. V'zehu tishmeru. We know that by Yaakov Avinu, by Yosef, it says, Shomer Esadover, when he had the dreams. And he told his father the dreams of the sun and the moon. So he said, he rebuked him. He said, nah, how's it going to happen? Your mother's not alive. Von deswegen doch, Shomer Esadover. At gehofft, he was hoping, when is it going to happen? So Tishmeru is Lashon von hoping. Keloshen Shomer Esadover. Shoimamten Metzape Mosa Yeh. A person should hope and long. When will we have back the Beis Hamikdash? L'chaim, l'chaim. The Heiliges Versammlung, ja. Oh, put on all of them. Da Eibishter sold after of. The Yifkoi Hashem. There was, by the way, there was a Maisa there was a famous chasana, the still a chasana. The after of was the eldest of the tzaddikim of that door. So the Rizhiner was dancing. The Rizhiner was in Kemanchik, and while he was dancing, his gartel fell down. So the Abderov, who was a bezok and muflig, walked over and picked up his gartel. So somebody asked him, hello, you can be his grandfather. It was Pshat. So he said, I have gemacht glila for Sefer Torah. Yivkoi Hashem Adakei Ruchois, Ish el Amachne, Ish asher ruach boi. Ish asher ruach boi. Was Pshat asher ruach boi? In the beginnes Klalis Yisrael, in general, in ganz Klal Yisrael, yesh na beginnes Srofim, v'chayes HaKodesh, v'oifanim. There are three different levels in Klal Yisrael. The Srofim, the Chayes HaKodesh, Heilige Chayes, and se do oifanim. So afanim is azoi. Afanim nikrui oisem ha-tzadikim, asher b'chol eis v'rega libam boyer b'kirbam. The tzaddikim that are 24/7 connected to the Bnei Shalom constantly. They don't stop for a second. Migoidlis lahavos v'chukos v'havosam v'yirosam l'bayre b'ochu b'shmoi hanech b'vanoyre. They have such great love and fear from the Eibishter that they're connected at all times. Ubechol eis moisim nafshem begufam l'ovedes Hashem. They oved Hashem with gewaldig mesiras nefesh. They moised the nefesh to the Eibishter. Eleim b'chines rofim. Ve'em b'soid neshama. There's nefesh, ruach, and neshama. So they are the beginnes neshama of Klal Yisrael. When Chayes HaKodesh, what's the Chayes HaKodesh? Heim oisem ha-tzadikim asher cheftzam b'toras Hashem. They want to learn Torah. U'visrosa yegu yom v'layla lishma. They learn Taka Torah lishma day and night. Lilmoy, the Lamed, the Shmoy v'lasas. They learn, they teach, they keep it, they do the mitzvahs properly. Heim anikroim Chayes HaKodesh. Why? Ki ha-Torah eitz chayim. Eitz Chaim Ula Machazikim Bo. The Torah is Eitz Chaim. So they were the Chiyus of Kedusha in Klal Yisrael, they are the Chiyus, because they learn Torah. Ruach Chayis HaKodesh V'anitzchi V'hem Besoid Ruach. Why Ruach? Because Ruach, as Leo Novi brings in Posach Leo, Ruach Mamalolo. When you talk and you put your hand in front of your mouth, you'll feel the wind coming out. So Torah, the person who learns Torah, is B'chinas Ruach. V'osad Oifanim. Oifanim hem balabatim, kishedi Yisrael, balamelkech mumkar. People who go to work every day. Like some people I know here, go to work every day. Some go to Manhattan. They wear sunglasses. They shouldn't see what they're not supposed to. But yeah, it's a battle. Everybody that goes into the street today, if you go to Manhattan, you have to go to the mikveh afterwards. This is zicher. But even if you don't go to Manhattan, if you go to 13th Avenue, you also have to walk with your eyes down on the floor. Shem Yirachem. So the Oifanim or the Balabatim, they go to work every day. Bein Besod Nefesh, they're the Nefesh of Klal Yisrael. Ki Klal Yisrael im Gam Kem B'chinas Koyme Shleime, Klal Yisrael together is a Nefesh Ruach Neshama. V'Oifanim, what's Pshat Oifanim? Oifanim hem Yiloshim Galgal HaChoyze Boilam. Oifan Markevoisav, V'Yanageu B'Chveidus, it says by the Mitzrayim. Yeah, they have the Oifan Markevoisav, the wheels of their chariots. A wheel is called the Oifan. Galgal HaChoyze Boilam. Ze Oile, V'Ze Yored. Goes up and it goes down. Also, Parnosa is the same thing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. V'Em Trudim B'Chol Eis Biske Parnosas Beisam. They're busy 24 hours a day, Parnosa. They wake up in the morning, what am I doing today? Parnosa. They go to sleep at night, how was my day? How much money did I make today? Ulefamim, sometimes, sometimes they come in the morning to daven, some more, some less. Some come to learn a little bit. Leilach v'lishmoya, borchu, kedusha, mechaptaran borcha, mechaptaran kedusha. I love the people who come to shul by borcha and say, oh, perfect. Why is borcha perfect? Borcha, the davening started a half hour ago. But some people think that that's perfect, okay? At least that much. Or little mektas, they come to learn a little bit, or lespala, tzedakah v'kedoyme. So the balabatim who work for a living, they do whatever they can. So how do they come to want to do something good? How do they come to want to learn, to want to do daven, to want to give tzedakah? So from the Chayes HaKodesh, because they do the Torah properly, they mashpia on the others that they should also want. That's how they get the machshavah tov to do something good. By the Ma'aseh Merkava from Yechezkel that says, Ki ruach hachaya b'oifanim. The ruach of the chaya goes into the oifanim, to the wheels. And shachiyas shalo oifanim nimshach rak min ruach hachayas HaKodesh. V'chein behinosei hachayas, also says there, behinosei hachayas, when the chayas carry, yinosu oifanim lumoson. So the oifanim raise ze lumazeh. Moshe Rabbeinu levashalom hoye roya neman liYisrael. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was the Roya Haneman, the trustworthy shepherd that Hashem gave him the job of taking care of his flock. So he asked that when he passes away, Hashem should give them another shepherd who's also trustworthy and do the job like he did. Hashem told him, Kachas Yeshua ish asher ruach boy. Yeshua has ruach. He's the ruach which will make the wheels turn. And ruach hachayis hakodesh kemavur. Ki Moshe besod neshama, Yeshua besod ruach. So that's why Hashem said to him, because Moshe Rabbeinu was like the shemesh, and Yeshua was like the levona. So he didn't have that same level, but al kaponim he had enough koyach to make the wheels turn. So Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem that he should put a person on the Klal Yisrael that should lead them the way it should be. Do we need coffee here? Anybody need coffee? No? Okay. Hachidush v'reim is etzal. Omar. Ha'olam soivrim. It's a very interesting piece. It says the world thinks she'mismatos hadoiros, because the generations are getting weaker and weaker, So we can have Rebbes, leaders, who are not as great as the previous leaders. Aber lahem sagt die Geschwirim ist heftig, es Punkt verkehrt. Gechol shador mismayit bedargosam, the lower we get, the weaker we become. We need greater leaders. To pick up chaver that are down in the dumps like we are, we need greater Rebbes. Moshel lechoyle says the moshel to us, a person who is sick. The sicker the person is, he need a bigger doctor. Somebody is very sick, you need a professor. Send him regards, Moshe. Send regards. Degel machne Ephraim. Degel machne Ephraim, the enikel of the Baal Shem Tov, Zuktazoid. On the same pasuk. Yifka Hashem Elkei Ruchos the Chol Basar. The Eibishter who is the Elkei Ruchos. He's the God of all the Ruchos. The Chol Basar. Ishal Eido. He should command on Klal Yisrael a person. Asher Yetzel Lefneim. He should go out in front of them. Asher Yovel Lefneim, and should go in front of them. Should come in front of them. What's up? He could have said Poshet. Could have said Ishal Eido. What's the necessity? There's nowhere else in the Torah there's such an expression anywhere. הנה, תפילת מוישה רבינו לבשם היה כאן, שלא יותי הדס ישראל כצאן אשר אין להם מירה. כלל ישראל should not be like a bunch of sheep without a shepherd. והיינו, שיהיה להם ראש ומנהיג כדי שידבקו בו. They should have a leader. מנחה. כדי שידבקו בו. They should have a leader that should connect to him. וינער להם וידריכם. בדרך, where am I? Page 3. שידריכם ישורה. He should lead them in the right way. כל בסדר? שכוח. שיוכל להלס נשמסיהם בייס הצורך. He should be able to elevate their spirits, elevate their neshamas when it will be necessary. והנה ידוע, ראשי הדור, the leaders of every generation, and the Fiador, according to the generation, the Fishosh Nishmaseim, like the Rishonim said before, that the weaker we are, we need greater leaders. So everything's according to the door. If the door is shvach, we have the greater leaders. That's why you stick to the old leaders. Yeah. Kein Shalech Hashem Baruch Hu, Hayedeh Shosh Nishmas Shel Kol Yisrael Tomid V'chol Dor V'dor. So in every generation, according to the level of this generation, Hashem sends them Roish Umanig Lahem Kefi Oisador. Sends them a leader according to the generation. Fima Shetzorach Oisador, Leishiyuchel Roish HaTzadik Lahales Kol B'nei Doira L'Sharoshon L'Kavon L'Fnei Hashem. He should have the ability to bring everyone up to their level, where they should be. U'lekach Yefshe Shesman Roish Alador De Odom. So it can be a human being who should designate a leader for the generation because he doesn't know. The Eibishter knows. The Eibishter knows the generation, he knows the leader, so he's the one that can designate. That's why I said that Kei Ruchas Chol Basar. Hashem who knows everyone's temperament, everyone's midah, he can designate a leader. Ki ma de Hashem Baruch Hu shehu mekoira mekoiros v'neshama l'kol ha'neshamas v'yedei ha'shorish neshama shel kol dor v'dor. So he sends to every generation a leader according to what they need. You are the one who knows each and every person in every generation. You are the God of all the ruchas in the Neshama. It's proper for you Mifkoid Huloshen Chibur. K'moidam Mifkid Pokid. We have in Shmoini Shrotzim in Masechta Shabbos, there's a shaila, if the shrotzim, if the blood that's underneath is something fresh that you just created, or it's mifket pocket is there before and it just comes out. So we see that mifket it's contained. That through the leader of the generation, he can bring them all up to their roots where they belong. That's why you have to designate someone according to the level of the generation. Designated a king for us, for their own purpose. They wanted to control him. They wanted to have control over the king, over the leader. Shia Melech Biyodam. We have, he's our, we designated him. Like Ish al ha'edo, al ha'edo, al ha'edo. A person will be above the Edo. Shuye Elyon al Edo. Shekol Nishmas Yisrael Yidvukim Boy. They should all be connected to him. Uye Klal Kol Nishmas Shal Yisrael Shaboy Sador. He should be the Klal of Nishamas. Like in every generation, the Tzaddik Ador. That Tzaddik Ador, he encompasses all the Nishamas of that generation. Through him, they'll be able to go up and the highest level to connect to where they belong. That's what Rashi says with his beautiful lashon, with his clarity and his lashon. You know and understand every single person's mindset. You understand their heart. You understand their tzonus. Two people are not alike. Like the Gemara says, just like the faces are not the same. Also their minds, everybody has different mindset. That's why Hashem designated a manig, a leader. He should be able to deal with every single person according to his level, according to his das. And the canal, the manik should be the das. He should be the klal of das. So he should be encompass all the deus. And they're all inclusive in him. So first of all, he has to remove himself from anything that has to do with ra. So klipa basically means everything that surrounds the kedusha, just like a fruit has a klipa from outside. We spoke about it today. Yeah, it's just like a klipa. We talk about klippas all the time, not clippers, not the team, the clippers.
So klipa could be also holy then.
Huh?
Klipa could be holy then.
No, it's what? I heard the name. I never in my life watched a game. So so klipa is it surrounds it. It surrounds the inside the kedusha. It doesn't let the kedusha come out. Kedusha is inside. So once he removes himself, he gets rid of the klippas. Es karboni lachma li yishai. Rech nichoich tishmur al hakev li b'mayadoi. Zog das was emes. Bis man shein bes amigdosh. Wenn avoides hakarbonis. Avoidi l'shtoike v'letzapers lekach. He said something similar before also. It's actually a repeat. Sorry. Maybe you have to say it twice. We should chap the significance. So we have to mishtoike. These 3 weeks. These 3 weeks is mamish. So my Rebbe used to sit every day. We spoke about this already. He used to sit every day besak ve'efer. On Tisha B'Av night, he walked into shul with a Russian casket, with a new bekisha, not brand new, but new. He walked over to Aron Kodesh with a knife, with a razor. His talk kriya. The next day by the Sefer Torah, when he was Oila Aliyah, he said again, B'Shem HaMalchis, Daina Emes, and he talked kriya on the second side. The night of Tisha B'Av, he sat on front of the Aron Kodesh with the torn kapota, put a sack over his head, tied him with a gartel to his, he had one on the bottom, one on top. He had a big box of ashes. He filled up his hand, Malay Chofnov, with ashes, put it in Mocha Menachas Tefillin, and the whole place was full of ashes. So where did they get the ashes from? They got the ashes from the matzah oven, and they sifted it. It became like a gray powder. And that gray powder, he used all year round. He sat down, Rebbe David, our Rav, he once saw it. I was there for 5 years. First time I saw it, it shook me up so badly because he started crying. Kinus, his whole face was full of ashes, and you saw 2 lines from the tears. And he used to wash his hands a lot. He washed his hands, and there was a whole puddle of a whole bunch of ashes and mud on the floor. And when it came to the very hard psukim, Yitem be'ofa piu ulay shtikva, he put his whole face into the ashes. And the next day, he sat and cried from morning to night. He sat a whole day and cried from morning to night. And he fasted Shiva Asiri in one shot. Fasted 2 days, 50 hours, straight up. 1 year, Tisha B'Av was like this year on Motzei Shabbos. And he fasted Sunday and Monday. So Sunday night, I was with him. I slept with him that night. And I wanted him to make Abdullah. You have to make Abdullah, Motzei Tisha B'Av. I was pleading and I tried everything in the world. Couldn't geholfen. Nothing. I said to him, Rebbe, if you're not going to eat, I'm not going to eat either. He didn't care. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. He didn't say that, but I know that he didn't care. I know that it bothered him, but so I pretended to go to sleep. I went to sleep. He came over to my bed. He was begging me, please go make Abdullah. I said, if you're going to make Abdullah, I'll make Abdullah. But Lamaisa, he fasted 2 days. And during the 3 weeks, he also used to sit. It says in the Yankov Evans, it said, Brot Halacha, that during the 3 weeks, he should also sit during the day, kichotzi, approximately a half hour. So approximately a half hour was from the 12 till the 6, or from the 6 till the 12. It was 10 after, so he waited until the 6, and then it was a half hour. So it was like 50 minutes. But he sat during the 3 weeks, he sat during the day also. And during the 9 days, anything that you gave him to eat, at night, he fasted during the day anyway. But if any food that you brought him, he said, you're giving this to human beings to eat? Like his mama says, he didn't want to eat anything. The only thing that he did eat was plain bread, some water, and raw vegetables, if anything. During the 9 days was gefährlich. And after that, he fasted 2 days. Verstehst? Yeah. I once asked him at what age he started saying Tikkun Chatzos. He told me he was 17 years old. So I asked him if his Rebbe, the Stefaneshta, also said Tikkun Chatzos. He didn't answer me. He didn't want to say. But I heard from a very Chushav Yidi in Shalayim, Abnut Tzeinvirt, a big Makubal, big Talmid Chochem. So he used to hang around by the Rebbe when the Rebbe lived in Eretz Yisrael. So he told me that he once with him in Chemarav, he was talking to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe once told him that, Rishon and Uman didn't see eye to eye. But he had cheshik to go to Uman. Had cheshik kan Uman. So he couldn't tell his Rebbe that he's going to Uman. He just checked out and went to Uman and came back. When he walked into the room, his Rebbe looked at him and said, you were there? No, nicht gefährlich. Without saying where he was, versteht sich. He saw. Yeah. So let's see the last piece. Liyetze mishpachas hayitzri, lishile mishpachas hashilemi. Chavetz Chaim sagt so, Perish, liyetze lemishoylech hayitzroi hora, mishpachas hayitzri, miyadu moitzi svivoy es kol mishpachto shel yetzer hora. So once you get involved with the Yetzer Hara, you find this whole family. The whole chevra, all the chevra that are involved with the Yetzer Hara. They got kol mishpacha shelo. Koloich mitzas hayetzer. V'kulam mechonim esayeli b'dar kayiro. You'll see that a person who starts going off the track, all the chevra that are off, schlep him. They say, come with us. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it. You'll have a good time. Smach aleben. Yeah. So all the chevra of the Yetzer Hara, all those who are trapped already, they're makar of him. The shilem, mish mevakesh hashleimus v'atoiv, mishpachas hashlemi. Moitze sviva mishpachas hashleimim v'yereim, v'zeh shenemar, b'derech shel moitze leilech. The way a person wants to go, Hashem leads him there. Chaim l'chaim. Chaim l'kasha, im Russach Yisrael l'zakas Yisrael l'fichach. Hier bleibt teure Mitzvah, schnell, aber ich man zieht koi. Jagdil teure. Viadi, Yisgada, Shmei, Rabu. Rabu, Yisrael, Malchisa, Yatzmach,